Last time he told me about it, he was like, "Yo, we're gonna have grilled octopus." He's like, "I'm grilling octopus." I was like, "You grilling octopus in East Memphis?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I've never had octopus before." He was like, and he acted like I was the weird one. He was like, "You ain't never had octopus before." So then I was like, "Okay, I want it," but I showed up late.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, cats, dogs, mices, geeses, mooses, ducks, deer, polar bears. I saw this big old jellyfish video. Shout out to you, dog. I gotta leave the ocean alone. And he stopped those ocean videos. So he stopped. But welcome to the Big Back Lounge. I am your host, Neek. We'll be talking about real tips and not relationship tips. You can follow me on all social media outlets under the name ThePriceOfWings. Now, our guest tonight, I'm excited. I'm excited because it came out of nowhere. They say, my auntie, she's a praying auntie. Shout out to you, aunt. She said, "When one window closes, God opens up a door." I'm like, okay. Never got that until now. Because in the Big Back Lounge with me today is the executive director of Indie Memphis and now a good friend of mine, Miss Kimel Fryer.
Hello.
We're friends now. This is crazy. It's crazy. But how are you today?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm all right. So, like I said, you are the executive director of Indie Memphis. Can you tell the people a little bit about Indie Memphis?
Sure. So Indie Memphis is a nonprofit. We are going into our 27th film festival this year.
I'll add that later.
And our mission is to foster an intersectional and racially equitable film community and to nurture the growth of filmmakers. And so we do that through 5 different ways. One, our annual film festival, which I just talked about. 2, our artist development program. So we do workshops. We have grants. We have a lot of different resources to help filmmakers and creatives join together and make their films and put their visions, on the big screen. 3, our Black Creators Forum, which is a program that's specific to uplifting Black creatives. It started out helping Black creators in Memphis, and now we connect Black creators throughout the world. We had someone from Uganda log in to our last Black Creators virtual forum. It was really dope. Uh, 4, our youth program. And so we do have a youth program. We have a mentorship program. So we have local filmmakers teach kids how to make a short film from like idea creation to all the way to like shooting, editing, and then we show their film at our youth film fest. Yes, Memphis has a youth film fest. What?
For the youth.
Um, and we also do other things to support the youth. We have a production grant that's actually the deadline for that is tomorrow, and we also have workshops that we provide for youth that maybe they're not ready to make a film, but maybe they want to know about it. So we do different things of that nature. And then 5 are year-round screenings, our year-round cinema. So we show feature films throughout the year. We also show short films throughout the year. And we usually go between Malco and Crosstown to do those things. But we have also done, in the past, we've done things all over the city to make sure that the city of Memphis gets to experience great art, even though we are not New York or LA. So that's a big overview of what we do. I work with a phenomenal team. And I love talking about what we do and organizations. So thank you for having me.
Man, and I'll do a great job because I did volunteer one year. It was fun. I saw a lot of the directors. So got to see peep their ideas and how they got into it. And I think the funniest part was I don't know, I forgot what movie it was, but one of the directors would just had me cracking up the whole time. And I can't remember. It slips to mind, but I was just sitting there like, this man is a fool. And how did he make this good film again? So it was just real interesting to say. But also through y'all, I saw American Fiction, which I saw that. I was like, that works.
And
That
we
works.
brought it to Memphis first. It did not
First,
hit
yeah,
Malco until like March of the next year. We brought it
right.
to Memphis. We brought it to Memphis in October during our festival last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was crazy. I was like, wait, is this movie supposed to be coming out now? And then I looked around like, oh, it don't come out till March.
Well, that's the cool thing about the festival circuit. If for anyone who's listening to this, if you've never gone to a film festival, you get to see films that are not necessarily released theatrically yet. That is usually what most festivals do. And so we do show some films from distributors, some films from studios. Like we showed May December from Netflix before
Mm-hmm.
it actually hit on Netflix. However, we also are a platform for independent filmmakers. So your average independent filmmaker is not going to get a deal with Netflix or Apple TV or something like that. We are kind of an intermediary, and so we get to show their films and also help them connect and find their audience. Because for someone who just wants to find, see a horror film or see a comedy or something like that, they have the opportunity to find that film and to also either connect with the director if the director or film crew is in town, or they can connect with them offline because technology has connected us so well now. So yeah, so that's a cool thing about festivals. You get to see things before it hits the public. The not so great thing is can't tell spoilers, like.
Yeah, that's awful. I was holding in on American Fiction like this.
Right. I mean, Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah. No,
Issa didn't even have a big role, but she had me cracking up. I was like, I can't tell
I was like,
nobody.
why?
Oh my goodness.
I was
So
like, she's only in this movie for 5 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm dying. But that,
Sterling K. Brown, I
yeah,
mean, man,
that cast was crazy.
it was phenomenal. And they
Phenomenal.
it's great. I mean, they won awards. I believe they won an Academy Award. Or the direct either I think he may have won for the screenplay.
Yeah,
But
screenplay
they
probably. Yeah,
Yeah, it was great. So I'm glad you had that great experience, and I hope you come back this year. Our festival, save the date, is November 14th through the 19th. The 18th and 19th are actually encore days. So like in-person premiere days, so like days that you'll see like films for the first time at our festival will be November 14th through the 17th. But there will be an opportunity to see some films that maybe if you missed them, or if they were like maybe scheduled at an awkward time, or maybe there was just like really high demand, because that happens too.
hmm
Sometimes we have sold out screenings, and so we wanted to be able to respond to that, and so this year we have encore dates. So yeah, come check us out in November.
that's, that's dope. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna try to volunteer again. 'Cause that was
Please
more
do.
fun. That was more fun. All right, now let's get to the main event. Let me crack my knuckles because this is gonna be fun.
Oh Lord.
Let's start this off right.
Okay.
What are your favorite movies that involve food?
Ooh. Okay. Off the top of my head, The Taste of Things, French
Okay.
film, um, and um it was big in the media storm. It didn't land with the Academy Awards, but it did. I mean, it was a beautiful film. It was phenomenal, and it just in this beautiful dramatic story, kind of showing like these two people who love each other, but they're in kind of this work relationship, and they kind of
Okay.
struggle with being fully in their relationship. They do connect through food. And so since France is a country that's known for food, right? It's
Right.
just so it's so amazing, like the different steps that they took to like make one dish. And it's set like in the early 1900s or late 1800s. And so,
Hmm.
definitely not, I don't think it would take them that many steps now, but at the same time, for some French dishes, they might, because they want to honor that. So that's one that pops up to mind.
Okay.
Uh, Soul food, like, I mean, it's soul food. It's in the name. Also, I can't help but like, I don't know. Anytime somebody talks about someone with too much sugar, like somebody on Twitter's like, "Big Mama, your arm." Uh,
Every time. Every time. It don't matter what it is.
but it was also, I mean, it was about food, but it was really about family and how
Family.
complicated family can be, and that I think that's something that everyone can relate to.
Right.
Um, how many did you say?
You can have how many you want. Man.
Okay. I'll stop at three. Let me see. What's gonna be my third? I don't know. I don't know. What would be movies about food or that incorporate
Yeah.
food? I don't know. See, this is why I asked you for the list ahead of time so I could prep for it. You threw me off guard. Do I really watch movies that incorporate food? Now I'm like questioning myself. Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna
Those are
stick
the
with them.
two that kind of jump out at me.
Those are two. We're
So
gonna stick with those two right now.
okay, we'll stick with those two.
All right. What food reminds you of family? Since we talked about soul food,
Ooh, catfish. I'm a
explain it.
country girl. Yeah, catfish.
I mean,
I said that
catfish.
quick too, but I stand by it.
Yeah.
Catfish, fried okra. So a little bit about me. Like my mom and I moved to the Memphis area when I was 8, about to turn 9.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's crazy because like the mall was like about to be built. Like we moved to Memphis before the mall was before Wolf Chase was there.
We'll say. Okay. Yeah.
um, and lived in what is now known as Cordova. At the time, I mean, we heard it here or there, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it just wasn't as strong of a name, at least back then.
That thing. Yeah.
Um, However, my family is from Grand Junction, Tennessee, which is in Hardeman County. If you've heard of Bolivar, Tennessee, it's like
Right. Right.
50,
Right.
yeah, it's like 15, 18 miles south of Bolivar, right above the state line of Tennessee. And so my granddad and I mean, he taught me how to fish. He taught me how to drive, all of that. And so it was kind of like a weekly tradition. We would go fishing, and my grandma would cook like fresh. I mean, she would fry like fresh fish, you know, fried
Mm.
okra. I mean, like that country, I'll even say this, even country ham.
Oh,
Like,
extra salty ham. Yes. Yes.
yeah, like, but like my grandparents used to like own, like they had like a small like pig farm or whatever. So
Oh,
like
okay.
fresh like country, like
Great
I'm a
voice.
country girl. So like the country ham, molasses, biscuits, like yes. So those are things that remind me of family. And even when we do have like a family reunion, we always make sure we have a fish fry, because catfish is kind of like the thing that has it's just kind of sort of a generational thing in my family. Is kind of the thing that kind of holds us together.
So let me add this. Since
Hmm.
let's go back into it. You're back on the farm, back with your people.
Hmm.
What would be a breakfast, lunch, and dinner type situation with that?
Are we rushing, or do we have time?
We got time.
Okay. Um. Okay. Breakfast, like if it's like my birthday or something like that, like my grandma spoiling me,
Yeah.
she gonna cook. She's gonna like kind of saute ham like in the cast iron skillet. We gonna have some cat eye biscuits.
Okay.
And like they're gonna be fresh because my grandma used to make biscuits from scratch. Um, oh yeah, I was spoiled. I didn't realize how spoiled
Yeah.
I was when I was
Yeah.
younger.
You was like, what my baby want? Oh. You want that? Making it today.
She was, especially
It's
because like
dope
my
though.
mom was a single mom, so like my grandma would always get on her like, you ain't feeding that baby, and I would like milk it up.
So basically, like those little the skits they would say, Grandma, I ain't eating nothing today. You ain't eating nothing today.
Yes, yes, and of course it
Grandma running
wasn't
out.
true. Like my mom took good care of me, but I just knew my grandma had my back. I knew my grandma, my granddad were gonna spoil me with food. So yeah, like, the biscuits, molasses, like, not Karo syrup, like real molasses, or honey, like real honey that was made out there. I'm gonna smell coffee poured from my granddad. If I'm too young, at some point I got old enough they would let me drink the coffee. That'll be for breakfast. Oh, and like, scrambled eggs, stuff like that too.
Right.
Lunch. What would lunch be? Lunch, if we had a heavy breakfast, we'll usually have like kind of a light lunch. Like I used to, gosh, when I was a kid, I used to even like slice up tomatoes and put like salt and pepper on them. And like when I say like slice up tomatoes, like I would be able to like pick them from
Pick
my
'em.
grandparents'
Yeah.
garden and do that. But yeah, like that cucumber salad or something like that. A sandwich or something like we'll have a light lunch, but then dinner. Because around lunch, Granddad would come back with like what he's fished for the day. Because
Mm-hmm.
my granddad would be out of the house about no later than 5:30 to go fishing. He, oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he up there. He up
He was about it. Like
there.
he was not playing games because if you want to get fish, you can't go like when it's hot, like in the midday. You got to
Yeah.
go usually in the beginning of the morning or at dusk. And so around like lunchtime or a little after, he'll be in with whatever he's caught for the day. And yeah, grandma would cook. She would they'd scale the fish, they clean it, and she would fry what he cooked. So if it was catfish, buffalo fish, I didn't really like whitefish. I still don't like whitefish because of all the little bones.
Yeah, them little
Uh,
bones are terrible.
yeah, yes, because if it gets caught, it's a whole situation. But yeah, that spaghetti, fried okra. I love fried okra. Um, so yeah, that would be a good that would be a typical, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's dope. That is dope. Also, it's great that you can remember all that because that's a lot of stuff to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know the grandparents they'll feed you. They don't care what you got going on.
Oh
You
yeah.
on the diet, they don't care.
I didn't even say like dessert. So like we used to also grow watermelons and stuff too. So like
Oh,
dessert
okay.
would be like either that or like my grandma had a peach tree, and so we would love to, if we weren't in trouble, we love the peach tree, right? Because we get to
Right.
get peaches from the peach tree. If we was in trouble, you could catch us near that thing because I ain't about to get,
Nah, I'm not getting nothing over there.
I'm not getting a switch. I ain't.
Nah, we good.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that would be dessert, would be fruit. So that was one of the cool things I didn't realize until like I got older. When it came to like having a sweet tooth, I didn't really have one because like dessert was fruit for me. Like, and that's kind of like how we just operated. I don't even think it was because they were trying to, they had like an initiative or anything. That was just country
Yeah.
living. So
All right. Back to when I was a kid, we used to steal blueberries from this guy who had like blueberry bushes.
yeah.
So me and my cousins get a little bucket or whatever, go over to his fence, get a whole bunch of blueberries, wash them out, put some sugar on them.
Oh wow. Oh, I bet that tasted phenomenal.
It did. Then he always he wouldn't get mad at us for going over there, like
Yeah.
because we're away. He see us, he be like, "Oh, y'all cool."
Yeah.
But if it's a whole bunch of other people, nah, y'all got to pay. Run that money.
No, because you can't be coming up in nobody's yard just pulling stuff.
Right.
You can't just do that. So
Right.
But my
You
grandma,
let it.
she also now the fruit that I would steal, muscadine, um, muscadine grapes. My grandma had
Oh, okay.
muscadine grapes, and
Wow.
I love those. Like, and she always knew it was me. I guess I was the only grandkid. She always knew it was me. I guess I was the only grandkid that stole, but I really enjoyed them though. So yeah, she was cool with it.
Man, that's great, man. Good times. Good stuff.
Hmm.
All right. We're going to play a game of over and under.
Oh Lord, I don't know how to play the game.
Is what do you think is okay? We'll say what is overrated, what is underrated.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you three things, and this one is the pizza edition.
Oh, okay.
All right, overrated, underrated. Stuffed crust pizza.
Overrated.
Tell me why that. Tell me why that.
Oh, I need to go to. Um, it's just cheese. It's just cheese and bread. It's
Just
not.
extra
It's like
cheese.
nothing special. Usually, it's not garlic stuff. I mean, I know they have some people have that option now, but like it's usually just cheese and bread, and that's just extra. I don't know. It's just extra stuff to fill you up. Really, it doesn't even usually have like the best taste. So I feel like it's overrated.
All right, overrated, underrated. Chicago deep dish style pizza.
Ooh, I like
Tell us why.
Chicago deep dish style. So, okay, let me go in a little bit further. Chicago and New Orleans are kind of like two of my favorite cities to visit. I love
Yeah,
food. And
right.
so anytime I go to either one of those cities, I like kind of like make it my mission to go to different restaurants and to like eat different things. And so the Chicago deep dish barbecue pizza like is good. It's so good. Yes, the last few times I've gone to Chicago, I've gotten it's a Chicago deep dish pizza. You know, the Chicago deep dish they put the sauce on the top, which is
Mm-hmm.
very distinctly different, and the cheese is in the middle. Well, I got
Right.
the barbecue chicken Chicago deep dish, game changer, man. Woo,
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
game changer.
I'm intrigued with that one. I'm gonna keep that on my
Yes.
list of things to get. All right. Overrated, underrated. The last one, dessert pizza.
See, I'm not a sweet person, so I would say overrated. I'm also one of those people. I might upset some of your followers, but I don't think everything needs to be a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay for
Continue.
some things to not be a pizza. And so desserts is one of those things. I even like saw not too long ago. Um, someone apparently made an oxtail pizza. And I was like,
Nah. That needs to be made. That needs to be made one day. This place in New York, I think in Brooklyn called Custom Slices. They showed me their I sell pizza. I was like, yeah, it's worth a trip. I need to do
oh
that.
wow.
But I think that I think one that doesn't need to be made is chicken and waffle pizza. That should go all the way that way.
It's just bread. Just say you like bread. And really
It's
just say
bread.
you got a sugar addiction because bread breaks down the glucose in our bodies. So like when you eat bread, it's really that sugar that you're craving. You have to be I have to be cautious of that because, I'm older and so the pounds don't leave like they used to. And that's okay. I
Okay.
love every inch of me. However, I am cognizant of it. So I'm like, okay, let's balance this out a little bit. And like, I'm not necessarily the biggest like sweet craver, but I did realize that I used to like really love bread and I
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of like watch that. So yeah. I think it's overrated.
I can understand that completely. Now, since you like food a lot, just like I do, we're here for the food reasons. What is your food bucket list?
Food bucket list. One, grilled octopus.
You lost me.
Okay. So I have a friend. Every now and then he's in Memphis. Every now and then he does
Mm-hmm.
like these big like just kind of like block grill outs that he does. And so the last time he told me about it, he was like, "Yo, we're gonna have grilled octopus." He's like, "I'm grilling octopus." I was like, "You grilling octopus in East Memphis?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I've never had octopus before." He was like, and he acted like I was the weird one. He was like, "You ain't never had octopus before." So then I was like, "Okay, I want it," but I showed up late and it was gone. I mean, there were. I mean, half of the menu was gone. That was gone. The salmon was gone. There was like so many things gone. So now it's kind of like in my head, like we
It's
got to have
stuck.
some grilled octopus at some point. This is the thing. I must get this done. Um, food bucket list. There's not much that I haven't tried that I wanted to try. Escargot used to be on my food bucket list, and then I tried it when I was in Canada. I was in Quebec City,
Hmm.
and I'm good. I'm good for a while. I mean, maybe I'll try it again if I'm like ever in France. I think
Uh
maybe
huh.
that might be a different experience. Like if I'm in France, and France is on my bucket list for like as a country to visit. Um, or maybe if I'm like just really at a great a French restaurant. But I think that's the only way I would try it again is to be like, that's something that's a delicacy like from that country. I need to be on their
In
stomping
that
grounds.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can respect that. Yeah. I understand that.
But honestly, I'm honestly a person. I will try new things. I'll try the weird thing on the menu. I was my first year. I went to New Orleans Film Festival. It was the first year I became ED at Indie Memphis, and I was hungry. I was walking around with filmmakers, and they wanted to go to this really expensive restaurant, and I wanted to go to the Hole in the Wall because New Orleans is like Memphis. It's the
Right.
hole in the wall restaurants that usually have the best stuff.
Right.
Am I wrong?
Them the rules.
And so we split up. Man, I found this place that sold alligator sausage. Phenomenal. And then it was a whole big. I mean, granted, this is like 9 o'clock at night, so alligator sausage. I had alligator sausage. I had gumbo. They gave me a nice biscuit to sop up the gumbo.
Right.
I had crawfish etouffee. I mean, it was like this little platter sampler that I ordered. Man, I was a stuffed girl that day. Okay. Um, so when I went back to the festival, and they were like, I still haven't like really eaten a meal because the restaurant was packed out. What did you eat? I was like, I had alligator sausage. They was like, and
Look
like
on
one
their
of the
face.
filmmakers, he shaded me. He was like, I knew you were country. He judged me, but I was like,
He got you on that one.
you're right. I am country, and you love me for it. He was like, I do. We still have. So I said to say, like, if you want to throw out some foods that maybe I have, or you want to like give me something that might be that I might need to put on my bucket list, I'm totally open to that because I think I've tried a lot of things.
Last time I went to New Orleans, I think that was that the fight with the couple? Yeah, that was the fight with the couple. So I didn't get to do too much
Fight with a
more
couple.
exploring that. Let me tell you. Okay, we're gonna go off subject for a little bit. There was a
Okay.
couple that got into it on Bourbon, and they were in a room two down from me. So I heard all their little stories. I heard all the tea. I heard everything.
Okay.
Long story short, he ended up being stuck in New Orleans and she went home. After that, I don't know what happened. Are they still
Mm.
together? Are they done? I don't know. I don't.
Was this around like a holiday or something?
No, it was just a regular trip in New Orleans. So
Mm.
that was the last time I went. But I didn't go to too many hole in the wall places that time. The last place I went to, I think that was when we had somebody made a fried alligator bites.
Oh yeah, I've had alligator bites.
Yeah, fried alligator bites, and he had it in some and he smothered them with some etouffee.
Oh, I haven't had them smothered with etouffee. I just had fried alligator bites.
Yeah,
Um, I will say, whenever I'm in New Orleans, I do try to eat like seafood or like something that's like in the water, because it's like it's right off the Gulf.
right.
Uh, I will say, one of the times, the last time I went, there was this restaurant, and everybody was hyping it up. And I was real disappointed to go over there and realize that like everything was fried. Everything was fried. Lobster tail was fried. Like everything was fried. And I'm like,
Nothing blackened, nothing grilled, nothing.
fried.
Everything fried. Damn.
And fried hard too. I was so disappointed because I felt like some things should be fried, but some things you kind of take the flavor away,
Right.
when you fry everything. So,
Yeah, I just stick to the catfish, maybe some alligator,
yeah.
some crawfish, stuff like that. I don't do too much fried outside of that when it comes to New Orleans because you don't want to take out the flavor out. Also, they charge a little more in New Orleans a little bit. So
Oh.
yeah, I'm peeping game a little bit on that one.
The first time I had frog legs was in New Orleans. I was in undergrad.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I've had frog legs twice, and the second time I think I got a little bit too drunk and me and them frog legs didn't get together. We didn't get together like that.
That happens. I
That
was
happens.
My first time I was down there. I was at Okay, so I went to University of Memphis for undergrad. Went
Hmm.
to UT Knox for my law and business degree. But when I was an undergrad at Memphis, I was also in the band. I was a color guard, and so yeah, I was a bit of a band nerd. I was.
No, I didn't know you did color guard though for them.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
I did color guard from, honestly, seventh grade all the way until my junior year of college, because U of M used to give a scholarship if you were
Scholarship,
in
yeah,
marching band.
right.
And so around this time, like our football team would usually play Tulane. And
Hmm.
so the first time we went down there, yeah, we had our band director was like, "What do you want as an appetizer?" He was like going to the different tables. What do you want as an appetizer? And everyone else was being modest, and I was like, "I want frog legs." It was an appetizer. So I got cussed out. So my friends was like, "Ma'am, you couldn't order spinach dip. You you couldn't
You
order
can have
like
chicken tenders.
you
You
had to
can have
order
everything
frog
else. You said
legs."
the frog
It
legs,
was good though. It was good.
and it's
That's
like
one of those when that's one. Sometimes folks are like, "Oh, it tastes like chicken." That did kind of taste like chicken to me. Alligator bites did not. I thought they
nope,
were good, but they didn't taste like chicken. I was like,
they're
y'all
not chicken at
y'all
all.
lied on this. It tastes good, but it does not taste like chicken. It tastes like alligator.
Yeah, it tastes like alligator. There ain't nothing chickeny, flaky about that.
No, it's not.
All right, let's move on. Since we're talking about New Orleans, let's see. So you been Chicago and New Orleans are your top two.
Hmm.
So have you been to Houston?
Of course.
So do you think Houston's like a mini version of New Orleans?
First of all, mini is an interesting word because Houston is big. It's big as
Yeah, that's
hell.
what I'm saying.
Um, I wouldn't say a mini version. I would say Houston is like kind of if New Orleans and Dallas had a baby. It's-
Why Dallas though? Why Dallas?
I guess because like Dallas is like, to me, Dallas is like Texas, 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 right? So like
Right.
Texas barbecue, like the just kind of the epitome of Texas culture. You find that in Dallas. And I feel
Okay.
like Houston, you do get that Texas culture, even in the food, but you
Hmm.
also do get a bit of extra flavor that does kind of remind me of New Orleans.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I feel like, and I also, I would be remiss to not acknowledge that. I mean, both of them have pretty strong black populations, but I do believe Houston has the bigger black population.
By
Um,
far.
and I'm not sure. I did not visit Houston before Hurricane Katrina, so I don't know You know what I mean? Like how much of that
Yeah.
influence has just always been there versus how much maybe came after 2005. I've only visited post Hurricane Katrina, but the times I've gone to Houston, I've always had a blast. I love Houston. It's a fun city for sure. But yeah, it gives me like, like yes, it's in Texas, but it's got some extra flair. So
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah, I
I
would
like
say Houston's probably one of my favorite Texas cities for sure.
okay. Since we're talking about food, what is an underrated city with food for you?
Kansas City, Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, Kansas. It's a difference. There, for anybody that does not know, there are two Kansas cities. It's Kansas City,
That is the
Kansas.
funniest part about it.
Don't do that.
That is the funniest part.
Kansas City, Missouri is first of all great food.
Right.
Also, nightlight is lit. Okay. Yes. 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 Trust me. I also throw Toronto on there too. Uh,
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like people. I feel like more people know like Toronto is pretty solid though, but Kansas City. So I was pleasantly shocked when the first time I visited Kansas City, Missouri. Their barbecue. I really enjoy their barbecue.
Okay.
Of course, I'm partial to the home team. I'm always gonna go up for Memphis barbecue, but I would say the if I had to choose a city that is not Memphis as far as like top barbecue, for me it's Kansas City.
Okay.
They really most restaurants in Kansas City are gonna smoke their barbecue for at least 24 hours. Like it's kind of like a rule. And it
Hmm.
tastes marvelous. It tastes so good. And there's such a variety there. Kansas City is also very diverse. It like is very welcoming for LGBTQ culture. I mean, it was just like really it was just such a fun city, and like everyone was just kind of there together and like just enjoying life. Like so I enjoyed Kansas City, Missouri. And I also got to eat even at places that, I know Kansas City is known for barbecue, but even like I stumbled across this really beautiful but small Mexican restaurant, and like
Mm.
that was lit. I was like, okay, so I could just come here and just, be big backed for a whole week. Okay, I could do this.
Pretty much.
Toronto, I also want to put Toronto on there too because like have you ever gone to Toronto?
No, I haven't been. It's on my wish list.
You have to go to Toronto. Okay. Imagine a smaller, cleaner version of New York. And I say that because like you know how like New York has like certain neighborhoods that are like known for like certain cultures,
Right.
um, known for certain foods and stuff like that. Toronto is
Mhm.
very similar. They have like a little Jamaica, a little Italy. They have their own version of Chinatown. Like they're yeah, it was very interesting, that dynamic. And I did not realize there was such a strong like Caribbean population in Toronto. And so when I went up there, I had like some of the best Jamaican jerk chicken I've like ever tasted in life up there. And then I also like went to this like Bahamian restaurant that was there, and I've actually visited the Bahamas. So like
Right.
I'm like, this is real. This is a real meat pie. This is how it's supposed to look. Because some people are like, oh, Bahamian food, or I got Jamaican jerk, and I'm okay. Y'all sprinkle, y'all sprinkle some salt and pepper, and then y'all call this jerk. This is not
Not it.
jerk. I've
I
had
have a
friends who are like, Jamaican. I've had friends who were like raised in these cultures that have cooked for me, or I've like also gone to the country. So I can't cook it myself, but I can eat it.
right.
Recognize what's real.
I have a rule. I have a rule about Jamaican food though. It's a rule.
What's the rule?
Uh, the rule is if you ain't a certain,
Oh Lord,
I don't want to see your Jamaican food. Nah, I ain't trying to hear that. No,
I I
no.
get. It. I mean, I get it. I think you would. I think you would enjoy Toronto. I do.
Yeah, I'm Toronto and Kansas City. Let me put them both down.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto. Toronto. All right. One more thing before we go. You mentioned a restaurant that you were hyped about, and then you had, and you were like, no, everything's fried. Yeah, no. So now I'm gonna ask you. So I'm gonna ask you. Outside of that one, what's another restaurant that was all hyped up, and then you went and you just said nah? So what is your all hype restaurant?
Oh gosh. Here in Memphis or just
Anywhere,
anywhere?
anywhere.
Okay. Uh, I'm not gonna choose Memphis because I know too many people here.
Yeah,
I can get in trouble with that. Okay. I'll choose Nashville. Why you gotta look like that? I can't talk about
because it's
Nashville.
always fun. It's all when Nashville brought up. I'm just like,
Okay, so I did live in Nashville for like a year. And food was like the main thing I missed about Memphis, man. I was like real homesick. Um I was real homesick when I was there. And so there were some restaurants that were good. One that was like really hyped up that I was like really excited about was this grilled cheese. They called it a grilled cheeseria. I forgot the official name of it, but it was like a grilled cheese restaurant. And it was like the aesthetic was like kind of like an old school parlor. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. It was like old school parlor. I loved the vibe of it.
Mm-hmm.
Got in there, ordered the food. I think I even like ordered something that was like it had like spinach, mushroom, and it was like supposed to have like garlic and like I ain't taste the flavor. I ain't really taste the. I'm like, where's the garlic? Where's the butter? Where's the? It was bland, and I was so disappointed because like it was hyped up to me, and so my mom was in town, and so I took my mom and my oldest son. He was like two. He was like two at the time. We went to it, and I was just so excited. And then my mom was like, "Girl." My mom is judgy, okay? We're both Virgos. So we unfortunately we are each other's like worst critics. But she was like, "Girl, who told you about this
Why?
restaurant and why don't
Who
they like
told you?
you?" Like and again, like the aesthetic was great. It's just the flavor didn't match the appearance. Uh
Okay.
yeah, so it wasn't like the restaurant, they were nice, they were kind, it was clean, everything like that, but the flavor of it just was not nearly as strong as like what it looked like it should be. And I left being like, I'll just make my own grilled cheese at home. And so I always feel like that's sad. I like to cook. I do like to cook.
Right.
But I am also a single mom. So when I am like, you know what, I would rather cook this at home. I usually I'm a single mom, executive director of Indie Memphis. I got like a whole lot of I can
A
list
lot
like
on your plate, and you
10
just be
other
like,
things.
nah, I just rather make it at home.
I was like, I would rather take the time out of my day to make this at home than spend my money and come back here. That's always a bad
Damn.
sign.
That's a very, very bad sign.
What
Ooh.
about you?
Woohoo. What? Oh, what? What talking about?
I'm saying like what like is there a restaurant that's like it was like hyped up to you and then you get in you're like what is this? Like it was like a little too hyped up.
Here? You want here or
Wherever.
anywhere else?
You know what? Matter of fact, let's choose Nashville because Nashville is what I
Oh, I'm going
chose.
that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that
Okay.
way. Don't worry about it. I'm going that way. All right. It's called Willie B's.
Oh yes.
Now, Willie B's, just like any other black owned brunch spot, it's fun. The DJ in there, all the people in there, the women's looking good. One thing, it was only me by myself. Why am I waiting 45 minutes here
Mm.
to sit at the bar? That's one. Two, one of the drinks that I got, it literally cost $25. and I could have made it at the crib with more liquor. 3, I had the most watery shrimp and grits I've ever had, or the second most watery shrimp and grits
No.
I've ever had. The first watery shrimp and grits, we're gonna go because they're no longer in Memphis now, but since they're gone now, D.O. Seafood, and their watery shrimp and grits. That was the
Oh, they're not in
first
Memphis
one.
anymore?
Oh, they're gone. D.O. Seafood is gone.
Wow. I mean, I
And
stopped eating there because they always put egg in their seafood stuff. My mom has an egg allergy,
oh,
and
okay, that makes
you
sense.
not being able to like, you know, I don't know.
Um,
We gave them one
and-
shot. We told them about the egg allergy. They failed. She was sick, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
oh yeah, that's the reason why not to go. But yeah, so back to Willie B's and their watery shrimp and grits. When I say watery, it was like I was pouring water,
Mm-mm.
like the grits, and I'm like, yo. Then
Ugh.
the shrimp wasn't that good, wasn't seasoned.
How you
Yeah,
mess up shrimp? It's the easiest thing to cook. You don't even cook it for that long. Like you can't cook it for too long because it'll
you
be
don't cook it for no
rubbery.
more than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You can't cook it
you
more than four
can't.
minutes.
You really can't because it'll be too hard and rubbery if you do.
Right. So yeah, that was a letdown there, and I haven't been back since.
Yikes. You know what?
Sadly.
I will say though, if I could put on a city that I think is underrated for this, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to brunch culture, Detroit and DC do it best. Detroit and DC usually do it best. You are usually going to have unlimited, like you're gonna have a good unlimited mimosas or poinsettias or Bloody Marys. Like in those two cities, I feel like more consistently they get brunch and they get how to like get people in there and you feel you having a good time and everything like that. Nashville, and I gotta kind of get on our city about this too. It's not a whole lot of places where you'll see like a price for like unlimited unlimited mimosas or like
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
cheap
yeah.
price for per mimosa and a like a really 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 good brunch to go with it. And the thing is, if the drinks are pouring and the food is good, I mean, people gonna stay and they gonna order more of both. Honestly,
Yep.
Detroit and DC, I think, get that more so than most cities. But I will say Memphis, I don't think overcharges too much on average for the drinks. Nashville, I always felt like I was overcharged for a lot of drinks. So, but it's Nashville and everything's expensive, so you know.
Right. And that's why hole in the wall spots are important, people. That's why they're important. But also, yeah, I would say Houston. I would put Houston up there, but at the same time, I'm not now because they almost said Atlanta annoyance at this point,
Oh, interesting.
and that's bad. Food good, but bad. The more popular
Interesting.
ones, it's in the Atlanta spike weirdo-ness. Almost.
Mm,
Almost. From what my people in Houston tell me. Almost. It's not as bad,
interesting.
but it's up there. It's a
Huh.
couple of restaurants, not all. But again, thank you, Miss Kimel, for joining me here in the Big Back Lounge. I am so happy that you just said, you know what? I'm gonna join him today. He's a good guy. I'm gonna help him out today. He's helping me out, just kicking it with me and we talking about food and whatnot. Just
Yeah.
running through my arms.
Well, thank you
But
for having me. I had fun. I love food. That's actually kind of like the running joke at Indie Memphis. Like, they're like, if I'm gonna be with, if we're out of town or if I'm gonna be with Camille, we gonna eat.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that though.
But it's
There's nothing
it's
wrong with
facts. I can't. I'm not gonna hide. You right. We're gonna eat. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna be like, hey y'all, have y'all eaten? Okay, let's stop for an hour. Let's run it back. So we can go get some food. But I'm really glad I got to come in and talk with you. This was fun.
Like I said, it's great to have you here. It's an honor. You're a dope person. We laugh and kick the shit or whatever we like to say here, and it was great. And I learned a little more about you because now I can know who to throw some food ideas with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is dope. But I like to thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching on the tubes of you. And like I always say, your big back ass is always welcome here in the Big Back Lounge. Peace.